Here we go then with karts heading onto the circuit for DD2. This is our second heat for this class. 10 laps of racing to look forward to in the grid after qualifying yesterday. Lines up as follows. It's going to have on pole position the Spaniard on local turf, that of Jorge Carlos Pescador, alongside him another countryman, that of Oriol Dalmu Caballero. On to row number 2 we have Glenn Van Parijs. Alongside him is going to be the South African, which is Bradley Liebenberg. Then to row number 3 we have the Polish racer Kasper Bilecki with reigning champion from last year Kevin Ludi on the outside of row number 3. Then on to row number 4, another Spaniard in the name of Ivan Martinez, with Willy Villana, the Finnish racer, coming back for another season of DD2 racing in 8th place. Then to row number 5 we have Marcel Sherman, the German, with last year's runner-up Konstantin Scholl alongside. On to the 6th row we then have the British racer Barry Pullinger with Gerard Cebrian Aritza, the Spanish racer, in 12th place. On to row number 7 we have Harris Garcaglis with Philip Sewer. Row number 8 headed by Cosimo Francesco Durante with Fabian Lanz alongside him. Then to row number 9 we have the likes of the first Masters runner, which is Christoph Adams, and Imre Barizdo alongside that. On to row number 10 we have the likes of Michel Bifiga and Andrew Williamson. Row 11 is headed by Slavomir Moransky and Rafael Villanueva. Row 12 Joel Altonen and Ilja Oloskins, and the final row of the grid will see the South African Jonathan Petirzi and Maxim Shaposhnikov from Russia round out the 26 starters for this second heat for the DD2. I can tell you, if you're here at the circuit you'll know, but I can tell you if you're watching on Telemundi Media, the rain is now starting to get a little bit heavier as the drops of rain come onto our window in the commentary box. I think it may pass pretty quickly. The wind is getting a little bit stronger now, and there are again some clear skies to the direction of the wind, which it is coming, so we'll hopefully get rid of this as best as possible. But again, looking through the driver notes across the weekend so far, a few drivers do in fact like the wet conditions, but it's always for a racing driver, you do not want the conditions in between. They can be the most trickiest of all weekend. So if you get those in between where it's not quite raining, it's not quite dry, they can be very, very hard to deal with. But they've got to deal with what they got on the minute on the track, and that's all they can do really. They've got to use it to the best of their ability, get through this second heat, get yourself another solid result, and get set up for the final heat before that sets the grid for the pre-final tomorrow. So the kart's now working their way down onto the back straight. 10 laps for DD2 as always. And it's going to be up to Jorge Carlos Pescador to set the pace. But can he pick up a second victory of the day so far? He's in that blue kart on the left-hand side of our screen. That with the inside run to the first corner. And on the outside, you've got the other Spaniard, Oriol Dalmu Caballero, who races, of course, with the Motor Club Deporto Credel CRG team. So he is there on the outside of that front row. And then Glenn Van Parijs already looking very racy, getting the last bit of warmth into the tyres to get himself underway with Bouvon Power. He sits there in 6.22. Can he get the run and possibly snatch the lead of the race down at the first corner? This time they go through the chicane. In the earlier race for the start they didn't. They went straight through the chicane, through the cut-off, but now they've got the right line. And Jorge Carlos Pescador is going to lead them through onto the start of this race. Red lights on, ready to go racing once more for DD2, and we get underway. A little bit broken up towards the front, which means everyone should be able to get themselves onto the inside line into the first corner. The man on the outside, though, is not going to do that. He's going to get himself just about squeezed into second place there, but it's going to be Jorge Carlos Pescador who leads the way then in the blue kart through the first couple of corners. Everyone safely through at turn number 1, which is good to see. Oriol Dalmu Caballero was lucky there to squeeze through into second place because Glenn Van Parijs didn't quite judge the start of the race there, so he's now dropped back into where he was third place, but he could have been a lot higher up if he would have got the jump on the pole man. But Glenn Van Parijs sits there in third place. Fourth place coming through is going to be the Bradley Liebenberg kart, which had a little bit of an off at turn 1 in the first heat, but he managed to keep it on the black stuff this time through. So Bradley Liebenberg sits in 4th position. And then behind that, it's probably going to be, by the looks of it, Kasper Bilecki to sit there in 5th place. Although Kevin Ludi, I think, has made a tremendous start. He's up into 5th by the looks of it. And he's now trying to get onto the back of Bradley Liebenberg and probably past at the time they reach turn number 1. So let's see what happens down there. Here comes Oriol Dalmu Caballero to the inside. Oh, and the race leader catches the white line. And we know that's going to be very slippy indeed. So he runs out wide. He gets himself back onto the track. But what a mistake to make there from Jorge Carlos Pescador. He caught the white line, trying to let Oriol Dalmu Caballero go through. And in the process, he flung the car off the track. He's managed to recover into 5th place. But that has let Glenn Van Parijs through. Also has gone through Bradley Liebenberg and Kevin Ludi. So we've had a slight change towards the front. And here now comes Glenn Van Priest looking for the race lead. Can he get a job done on the inside? Nope, he thinks better of it. He stays in line behind Oriel there as they work their way through the exit of turn number 10. On towards the back straight they head once more. Just starting to fan out now towards the front, but Glenn Van Priest has got some good speed in that Bouvon Power kart as he comes down towards the chicane at turn number 13. Did he go through? Nope, Glenn Van Priest just staying in line for the time being as he works his way back onto the start-finish line. He's now going to look for a move down at turn number 1. He gets alongside Oriel Danmu Caballero, and through now into the lead of the race goes Glenn Van Priest. He's going to manage to hold it on the exit of the corner as well, so a great job there. He sighted that up nicely and he executed it perfectly towards the end. So Glenn Van Priest now leads the DD2 race here in Spain. Second place for Oriel Danmu Caballero. Third place for a very impressive at the minute Bradley Liebenberg. And then Kevin Ludi and Jorge Carlos Pescador sit 4th and 5th places. Just with them for now as well is Willy Villanum and Gerard Sebrian Aritza. The other Spaniard in this field sits there in 7th place, and they're all with the top runners at the minute, so it's all going well. Bradley Liebenberg, by the way, just got through into second, but not for long because Oriel Danmu Caballero goes straight back through at turn number 11. So that didn't last long at all, did it, for Bradley Liebenberg? But he'll try again if he gets the opportunity, possibly down at turn number 1. So let's see what he can do as they flick through the chicane for the third time of asking. Across the line they go. Here comes another Spaniard to the inside then of Bradley Liebenberg. That is going to be Jorge Carlos Pescador to try and squeeze his way through, which he now does. So he's on the recovery drive once more. He knows he's got the pace this weekend. He's had already a victory in heat number 1. But he's going to try and cement a heat number 2 victory as well. But he's still got 2 more people to try and get past. One of those now being fellow countryman Oriel Danmu Caballero. The other one is going to be a very hot and rapid Glenn Van Parijs, who is starting to set the field alight this afternoon. So Glenn's there in first, but here comes a massive move from Pescador down the inside line at turn number 9. He goes through very late on the brakes, and previously today we haven't seen that work, but he managed to get the kart stopped just in time. He's now gone through up into second place. He's now going to try and chase down Glenn Van Priest in the lead of the race, which he can do if they can all work together. I say those words, they never rarely come true, do they? But let's see what the 2 Spaniards are going to do then. Across the line once more they head. Glenn Van Priest still leads. Second for Jorge Carlos Pescador. Third place then for Oriel Danmu Caballero. Bradley Liebenberg sits in 4th place. 5th place is reigning champion Kevin Ludi. And then you've got Gerard Sebrian Aritza in 6th place. 7th place is Willy Villanum. 8th place is Kasper Belecki. 9th place is Marcel Sherman, the German. And Konstantin Scholl rounds out your top 10 at the end of lap number 4. In terms of the Masters, very quickly, just to let you know, Christoph Adams still leads that one. Second is Ilja Oloskins. And third place is Slavomir Moransky. Not quite having the run he did a year ago, but there's still time to play this weekend. So that's how the order looks in both of the classes, DD2 and the Masters. Glenn Van Priest out front leads by half a second, but the man in second place, Jorge Carlos Pescador, has done the best of anyone in Sector 2. He's starting to bring down the gap now between himself and the leader. It's pretty much nothing as they come across the line for the 5th time of asking. Down towards turn 1 they go once more. What can the Spaniard do about getting into the lead of the race once more? He made a mistake here a few laps ago, but he's now going to try and put that right and get past Glenn Van Parijs. So on towards turn 3 they head. Through the chicane, left, right, and then onto the next, the right-handers at turn number 4. Quickest lap of the race has now gone to, confirmed on the screen, Jorge Carlos Pescador, who goes down the inside line at the same time. Oh, and there's contact between the 2. Glenn Van Parijs just caught the rear wheel there of the Spaniard, and he will not be happy about that, but there was just not quite enough room on the exit of the corner, and Glenn Van Parijs, after doing so well in the first half of this race, has just now gone and lost it. He's going to drop near enough to the back of the field, and that allows now Jorge Carlos Pescador to take over the lead of the race. Not by much, but he has got the lead once more. I'm just wondering if there's any damage being done to the Spaniard's car out front. We'll see over the next couple of laps now, I can tell you that, as they come through. Jorge holding on from Bradley Liebenberg now, who's back up into second place. Third place is going to be the next of the Spaniards, Oriel Danmu Caballero. And then the champion, Kevin Ludi, sits there in 4th place, just ahead of Gerard Sebrian Aritza. It's getting very close for comfort at the minute, though. So good racing, but as we saw just a lap ago, one slight mistake, one moment to run wide, one door left open, it can all go horribly wrong, especially for that of Glenn Van Parijs and someone else out wide there. That would have been Let's have a look at the screen and see who drops down. I think that might have been Vili Valanen, who's lost now 6th place. We'll wait for Sector 2 to come through, but I'm sure Vili Valanen has just run wide and lost himself down the field. Meantime, Kevin Ludi is trying to get through on Oriel Dalmu Caballero, all happening out front. They're nose to tail for 2nd place. Look how much they fan out. You can fit 5 carts side by side, but you don't want to go through the corner like that. They've all managed to sort themselves out. Still Jorge Carlos Pescador that leads the way. Bradley Liebenberg is 2nd. 3rd place now is Kevin Ludi. Under attack, though, from Oriel Dalmu Caballero down towards turn number 1. The Spaniard goes for the inside line, but Kevin Ludi is so late on the brakes. He manages to hold the gap and hold his position on the outside run through the first corner. He sits there in 3rd place. A massive lunge further back there from, I think that was possibly Marcel Schirmer going through on Kasper Bilecki. Was it? Yes, no, Kasper Bilecki went through on the Spaniards, Gerard Sebri and Aritza, so they've had a change there. Such a fraught and frantic race, it's hard to keep up with what's happening out front, but I can tell you still the Spaniard leads of Jorge Carlos Pescador. Bradley Liebenberg having a grand run in 2nd place. Kevin Ludi now sits there in 3rd place. We've got Oriel Dalmu Caballero still in 4th. Then we see Kasper Bilecki up into 5th place. We've then got Sebri and Aritza in 6th. Vili Valanen is up to 7th. Marcel Schirmer is 8th. 9th place is Konstantin Scholl. And 10th place is going to be that of Ivan Martinez by the looks of it. But here comes down towards turn 1. Kevin Ludi looking for a move now on Bradley Liebenberg to go through. Where has this turn of speed come from? I'm not too sure, but Kevin Ludi is making it work very, very well indeed. He's now gone up into 2nd on the 9th lap of the race. So this one and one more to go. So time is definitely running out from the front runners. Now starting to fall further afield now of the leader, because Jorge Carlos Pescador has got a 1.2 second lead, which is again fairly big in terms of DD2. So they're going to have to work together. Kevin Ludi, Bradley Liebenberg, who gets very close to the back of Kevin there into turn number 9, and also Oriel Dalmu Caballero, who are now being caught by Kasper Bilecki. A great run from Kasper, who started 5th on the grid but then has slipped himself down. Slight move being made there from Oriel Dalmu Caballero to go into now, or trying to go into 3rd place, but it's not quite working. So there's lots of frantic action happening as they come through the chicane once more. We're now on to the last lap here at Valencia in Spain. Down towards the first turn, here comes Oriel Dalmu Caballero to try and get onto 3rd place, which tomorrow will be a podium if he can get it done. But Bradley Liebenberg using the arms and the elbows to keep at bay the Spanish driver behind him, who knows this circuit very well. He now goes for an inside line up towards turn number 5, and he's got the job done. And in the process, Bradley Liebenberg has also lost a place now to Kasper Bilecki. So 2 places lost for the South African, who is having a really good run after starting from 4th on the grid. He's now dropped down to 5th place on this last lap. But it looks like Jorge Carlos Pescador is on for a 2nd win of the day. It was pitch perfect in heat number 1, and heat number 2 has gone in his favour as well, as they comes down towards the last corner. Checker flag in hand for Jorge Carlos Pescador to be waved at as he works his way through the chicane. 2 heat victories today in DD2 for Jorge. 2nd place goes to last year's champion Kevin Ludi, and it's a drag race to the line for 3rd place, just won by Kasper Bilecki ahead of Oriel Dalmu Caballero, and there's Bradley Liebenberg to try and get himself back onto the top 3 places once again, but it doesn't quite work there. But what a race that was for the DD2 competitors. Unlucky for Glenn Van Parijs, who dropped down towards the end. I think he may have had a few problems, because he's going to classify himself in 19th place in the end. But what a race that was out front for Jorge Carlos Pescador. Manages to win the race once again, this time by a margin of a little bit more than heat number 1, 1.5 seconds. So well done to the Spaniard here on his home ground for the Praga official racing team. 2nd for Kevin Ludi, a much better result in heat number 2. 3rd place then goes away of Kasper Bilecki. 4th place for another Spaniard, Oriel Dalmu Caballero. 5th place for the South African, which was Bradley Liebenberg. Vili Valanen comes through in 6th place. 7th place then for Marcel Schirmer. Ivan Martinez in 8th, the Spaniard. 9th place for Cosimo Francesco Durante, and Konstantin Scholl rounds out your top 10. Behind that we had Gerard Sebri and Aretza,